Hey everyone, I believe we're live. Thanks for tuning in to 3 ways to stand out from the crowd when applying. Glad to have you here. If you're here live and you're not at work, let me know in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from. I've recently learned that when I do these webinars, people are often listening to me in the background when at work. No condemnation here. I know that a lot of people follow me for discovering different ways of career development, looking for a new job. So, hey, whatever you got to do, I appreciate you listening in. But let me know where you are messaging me in from. And I'd love to know where you're at in the process of job searching. If you don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Alex Barker. I'm the founder of the Happy PharmD and career coach here. I'm very excited to be sharing this with you because with this, we're going to be sharing a lot of research of what we learned about the career search process and about things that you should probably be approaching things differently if you feel like you're wasting time on the job search. You probably are. And it's okay. It's okay because you probably haven't learned these things before. Just so that you have some context about who the heck I am if you've never met me before. Hey, nice to meet you. I started this company in 2017 to help pharmacists find and get jobs that they love. I was working as an ambulatory care pharmacist at the time for the Veteran Affairs, and I was burnt out. I didn't like my job. I didn't love what I did, but I found my own path and my own way and created this company by really practicing coaching for about 5 years before 2017 and then just decided to focus in on pharmacists. And since then, we've been able to help over 2,500 people with their careers, with interviews, applications, networking, and discovering what kind of careers they would love in pharmacy, even when they feel like they're burnt out or they don't have experience or a residency or whatever excuse they feel like they have. Hey, Yolanda, nice to see you. Constantly applying for jobs. Yeah, let's stop that. I'd love to see you stop that. I'm assuming that you can hear me and that everything is going okay. If you can't get away from work right now, I understand it. So just try to take some of the gold nuggets from today with your approach when looking for a new job. There are a lot of different things that you can be doing differently that'll save you a ton of time. And if you don't feel comfortable texting, send me a private message. I recognize that LinkedIn is a public platform, and sometimes people don't want to be very open about what's going on with their career on here in a public way. And I understand. Everyone says pharmacy is a small world. And kind of with that context comes the saying, so don't make a mistake. Don't let others know that you're not happy in your workplace. Don't let your boss know that you're not happy and that you're looking for something else. I'm hoping that can change over time, that attitude, but we'll see. So today, what we're going to go over is learning the secret network of how people get job offers even before they're posted online. Learn what most pharmacists are doing wrong on their application, and learn how pharmacists are bypassing the ATS and getting chosen for interviews. How many of you are applying right now? Just say yes in the chat. How many of you are like applying online? You're sending out your resume to the same places over and over again. It's the same resume. Maybe you know someone in the company, maybe not. I would just love to know that you can hit Y for yes if you don't want to type in the whole word. Sounds like hey Yolanda, yay. Thank you, Yolanda. You get a gold star for being the person who types in twice. Hey Divya, yes. I bet it feels very cumbersome. Like you keep applying and not hearing back, and you're wondering, why are you even trying? Everyone's career journey is different, and I meet hundreds of people at different stages of the process. Some people are like, I've been applying and I get nothing, and I've just stopped trying, even though I desperately want a new job. while others are saying things like, hey, yeah, I'm applying and I'm doing some things. I've read some blogs, I've read your stuff, or maybe they've even taken a class from me, but they're not hearing back. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to expose a fundamental truth about the job market, and that it's not pharmacy school. There is not a right or wrong way to career exploration or even job applications. It's not like the NAPLEX. There's not a right or wrong thing to do here. And some of you may feel like that this fundamental truth that I'm about to reveal to you is not good. But the truth of the matter is that it's a fundamental truth, a right answer, I suppose, about the human race. And it's that people trust the people that they know. 60% of jobs are found through networking. This is true across almost all fundamental, all across all industries. And, I was just talking with some pharmacists that we're working with in our coaching program last week, and I discovered something really, really powerful. I said it at the beginning, and it's the phrase, pharmacy is a small world, right? You probably were told that in pharmacy school. And you've probably said it even now. Maybe if you go to a convention or you run into someone, oh yeah, pharmacy is a small world. Yeah, I know him. He worked with her, my old colleague back in the day, blah, blah, blah. Well, I recently learned after listening to people that there's a hidden subtext with that statement of pharmacy is a small world, because there's like a dot, dot, dot after that phrase. Pharmacy is a small world, dot, dot, dot. So don't make a mistake. Don't say something stupid. Don't embarrass yourself in front of another pharmacist. Don't ask for help from another pharmacist. Don't be the dumb one in the classroom. Don't embarrass yourself in front of a manager, because if you do, they'll never hire you, they'll never consider you, and everyone from that company will find out about your blunder. The context of that phrase, pharmacy is a small world, is don't make a mistake. It's like pharmacy and the rules of teaching us to be pharmacists has been baked into how we grow our careers. And it's prohibiting people from doing the very thing that is most likely to get them a job. We find that before people come to us in our program, that most of the time, 95, 90%, people are not networking, or they've tried networking and they're not making connections. But the truth is that most people, I feel like, are afraid to network, to reach out to others, to stand out, to learn what's going on inside companies, and to become a top candidate. To stand out from everyone else, you need to know what's going on in the company to see how you can position yourself as a top candidate. Because the proof is in the pudding. Let's go through some more facts here, because I got a bunch. Employee referrals have the highest applicant to hire conversion rate among all recruiting sources, 40%. So for every 100 open jobs that a company has, 40% of those will be filled by an employee referral, someone from that company referring someone that they know, like, and trust. And the reason why I think pharmacists don't like that is because it's biased. It's biased. But actually, I didn't get it ready for this presentation, but I actually found that diversity efforts, which are a big effort right now, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is a big focus on a lot of companies. They want to improve upon it. And they have found with studies that you can actually improve your diversity through employee referrals. I think we like to think of ourselves as clinicians, and so we're pure and we follow guidelines and science, and we don't want to take advantages. We don't want to seem like we are, given an opportunity. And yet here's one right in front of you guys. Networking your way to getting job referrals is the secret network. It's how you can find out about opportunities before everyone else. And if you need more evidence, employers say that 88% of referrals are providing the highest quality of candidates for interviews and job offers. So pretty much everyone says these are the best people. And here's another advantage if you go this route. It takes only about 10 days to go from apply to hire with a job referral, whereas it takes 55 days, almost 2 months for a traditional job candidate. So if you're considering like, why would I network? Why would I get a referral? Well, if you like getting interviews quicker, there are 2 people in my remote job boot camp program right now that I'm thinking of that have one got 3 interviews and another one got 1 interview simply by using the network, simply by reaching out to people that they knew, first degree connections, and asking if they knew of any openings anywhere. And they got that within the first month of the program. Now, they're not the ideal jobs. It's not what they want, but it's getting them practice. It's getting them interviews. And one of them actually took a job in that process. The secret network is really simple. It's who you know, or more appropriately, who your network knows that can likely refer you to a job. This is the way to really stand out from the market. Because let me ask you this, because now we're going to want to get into the application part. And this is what I feel like a lot of people want. Sorry, just drinking on my lovely wife's latte. That's awesome. Ah, feels good. Okay, so who here is using the same application, the same resume for every job that you apply to? There's no shame in saying that. Because that's what we see a lot is people use one document to apply to every single job. Are you doing that? Are you sending the same application to every job opening? Quite the delay this time. That's a bummer. Okay, one person on YouTube said yes. One person on Facebook said yes. It's okay if you are. It's not wrong. It's what most people do. It's the easy thing to do. And who here is not sending a cover letter? Does anyone send a cover letter? Actually, let me ask Kat. Is anyone using a cover letter when you apply to a job? Personal statement. Okay, wow. Robin, yes. Good to know. I'm glad to see one person on LinkedIn. Now, is that cover letter tailored to jobs? That's the next question. Mohammed, thanks for being honest. Sometimes, yeah, that's fair. So, what I encourage everyone to always do is to have a tailored approach. If you're networking, if you're finding out what's going on inside the company, you can learn exactly what are their needs and what experience you have to match those needs. If you're sending the same resume and cover letter to different companies, that's kind of like going on one of those blind date parties where you speed dating. You can tell I've never done it before. because I called it a blind date party. That's embarrassing. But if you went to a speed dating thing and you had the same opener for every single person you meet, that would be a little weird. Or if you went to a networking event and an association meeting and you said the same thing to every single person, that would be super odd. Very odd. 75% of resumes are rejected even before they get to the hiring manager. And this is often because of the ATS, the applicant tracking systems. The ATI systems are built around keywords that are in your resume to basically sort out what are the candidates that the managers are looking for. So, what people are doing wrong is by not tailoring that resume to what even that job description is. Now, at the end of this webinar, I want to invite you into our community. We have a Happy Farm D Circle community where in it we have an AI coach. I'm sorry, it's right here. And with this coach, we have been training it to help people with their resumes. By logging into this coach and working with this AI bot, you can take job descriptions for what you want to apply to, paste it in here, and say, please help me rephrase my resume to better match the keywords of this job description. And just this simple task alone has, it's not the greatest, but it has a chance of increasing your resume getting actually through the ATS system by 25 to 50%, just by changing the keywords tailored to the application. Yes, it's that simple. But at the end of the day, most people get wrong is just sending off that same blind date opener. I'm not sure what a great way to open up a blind date is. I probably could come up with some bad jokes on the spot. I'm not going to. 57% also said, I'm sorry, 50% of hiring professionals decided to not hire a candidate based on content found on social media. This is something else that I feel like is being ignored by a lot of people, that when they're updating their resume or they're working on applications, that they don't also update their professional social media, LinkedIn, right? Now, this social media includes LinkedIn and Facebook, and they are and Twitter and Instagram and all the rest of them. But at the end of the day, what is on your social media is essentially your brand, whether you like it or not. Some people really fret about this and they worry. I tend to encourage the approach of like, don't say anything that you wouldn't say to someone's face in a public way, because this is a public format. And I don't know if you've been watching the news at all, but it's died down recently. But what tends to happen when someone gets famous, particularly like having their 15 minutes of fame, they get doxxed. People go through their Twitters, their LinkedIns, their Facebooks, and they find some stupid stuff that they said when they were young. Everyone is a little bit immature when they're young. And so it's no fault, I feel like, when you're trying and experimenting things online, but just cleaning up and tidying up your profile from what you did in the past is a real simple thing to do when looking for your next job. I would encourage everyone to even just spend a few minutes looking at, did I post anything in the last couple of years that was weird or things maybe that got dislikes? I don't know. But even if you get your applicant to the manager, they're going to do their due diligence on you. They're going to look at, what do you say publicly? How do you appear? I won't get too personal here, but I recently hired someone to help me out with things around the house. And I almost didn't hire them because I looked at their Facebook and I looked at some of the things that they were posting. They did not they did not present themselves as an approachable person. I'll just put it that way. Not as someone I wanted to be around. But after I met them in person, I changed my judgments of them. Look, you don't want to present more roadblocks in the way to finding a fulfilling career. This is a real simple thing for you to fix. Just update some things, pretty up your profile, take a new picture. If you got a new iPhone or a new Android, like those cameras are better. My iPhone camera is better than this camera that I'm using right now. And it's like a legit, photographer's camera from like, I don't know, 2016, 2017. So it's a real simple thing for you to take care of, but it's another to actually present yourself in a powerful way as someone as a top candidate on LinkedIn. There's a certain way of going about it. It's making sure you've got a great photo, a great headline, great about section that creates intrigue, that gets people to want to actually message you. And then the final stat that I want to say, just to hit the point home, 77% of recruiters are using LinkedIn. If you don't think recruiters are back in pharmacy, they are in full force. I've done, I think now, 3 success stories from previous clients of ours who have gotten new jobs in the last 2 weeks. And each of them had a recruiter in the mix for the positions that they got. It's getting harder to hire people in pharmacy right now, as evidenced by the bonuses that are available, which weren't there just even 2-3 years ago. And they're using LinkedIn. This LinkedIn platform, which I think most people are watching this on, is a very powerful tool in your career tool belt. This has the power to introduce you to hundreds and hundreds of people. And most pharmacists are super nice. They're not that mean. This is a different one. 54% of employees have rejected candidates based on their social media profiles. Actually, this is really similar to the 57%. And now for the final one, only about 5 applicants out of hundreds earn a face-to-face interview. So we've talked about this and kind of broken it down. What are the things that you can do to stand out from the crowd so far? One is network. Get into the job referral network, find people who are at these companies, learn what it's like, find out the trends that are going on, discover what its day in the life is like, so that you can ask intelligent questions in the interview and also create a better application. Secondly, you're utilizing LinkedIn and social media to not just network, but also to present yourself in an appealing light to convince a recruiter or a hiring manager to offer you an interview. I had I remember one person like probably 3 years ago during the pandemic. They were a little burnt out from their position, and rightly so. And they had started to post about this online. And while I definitely encouraged the truth of it, one thing that we did with this person was help them reframe how they were talking about burnout, because it was very negative towards employers. And while I know that employers need to hear this, I know employers need to be focused on workplace environment, like job satisfaction. There's definitely a more constructive way of going about it within their own organization, but it's also not the greatest brand to build for yourself by complaining about things in your current job. By doing this, it sends a message out to employers that, hey, if you join us in our, let's say, healthy network or our healthy workplace, you may be a complainer. I'm not trying to dismiss the issues at all because there are a lot of things that need to be said. I feel really, really privileged, in fact, to have like the LinkedIn platform that I have because I'm able to bring to light some things that others don't feel safe to do so. Because I don't work for any of them, which is, you know, it's nice, but I worked hard for that. Um, so when it comes down to like how you present yourself, it's so important to have that good brand. But what's the difference between getting interviews versus just getting in the rejection pile? And it comes down to getting past the ATS system. Most importantly, it's about this process, what I like to call resultifying your resume. What ATS systems and what recruiters and managers hate is a resume that just tells us the activities. So if you just say things like, I verified prescriptions, I gave vaccines, I trained technicians, that's fine, but it's like it's awful. It's so boring. It checks the box for I have a pulse and I have a pharmacy degree and license. Because practically every pharmacist can do those things. Every pharmacist can educate a patient. Every pharmacist should be able to verify a vaccine, teach a technician. It's about what did you do with that result, with that activity? What results did you create from it? Did you save the company time? Did you save the company money? Did you earn money? Did you create a new clinic? Did you create new customers? How have the metrics changed over time? Um, Not as much focus right now seems to be on metrics as a complaint for pharmacists. It seems to be much more about workload and lack of support. But at the end of the day, we are being tracked for what we do. I have key performance indicators. I have metrics that I track for myself and our team. But they're metrics that ideally and hopefully should create like inspiration and fun and joy and ultimately results for our clients. What's so important is to resultify the tasks that you have, turn it into something that is tangible to a manager. Because if a manager or an applicant tracking system is looking at two resumes and one says verified prescriptions and another says increased average daily prescription volume by 10 scripts per day over X years through patient referral program. It's a totally different feel for the latter versus the former. So it's so important to be cognizant in your current job. What am I doing? What is the result of this? Why am I getting paid six figures to do this job? Um, Sometimes I feel like pharmacists really belittle their value and their accomplishments. I just talked to someone 2 hours before this. It was a success story. It was with a pharmacist who had been in retail for 10 years, manager, had been to like two different chains. And she said that when she was applying, she never really told her true value on her application. She just said what she did. And through her coaching process, when she worked with her coach, she discovered like, oh, there's a lot of experience that I have. There's a lot of hard and soft skills that I've developed that are very valuable in lots of other settings outside of retail. And oh, look at that. I've done this thing and this, and it's not even on my resume. In fact, it's almost a guarantee now that I have in our program that in our first coaching session with people, what we love to talk about is what makes you great? What makes you stand out? What are your strengths, your personalities, your passions, your interests, your work values? And we do these assessments, and 95% of the time, people start sharing evidence of those strengths and those curiosities and passions and interests in pharmacy, and we find things that are not on resumes. And that was true for this client, Sadia, who was able to transition as a clinical slash director of pharmacy within a rehab hospital where she had no experience, no flippin' residency. And it's not like I gave her more experience doing anything. We just simply helped her reframe that what was already done, her work that she had performed, and how to position that as an ideal candidate for this position. And I was super glad to hear that not only did she get 3 job offers from 3 different companies, but she also, with the job that she accepted, she got paid 6,000 more dollars annually a year than retail, which is a little bit unheard of, but I think it was because of the manager position. It just made me really happy. But at the end of the day, it comes down to resultifying what is on your resume. We've been talking about a lot of like what's, I guess, like what is wrong with your resume. It's not tailored. It's probably not compelling. You're probably not providing like really powerful results on your resume, but we haven't been talking about how. And what I would love to invite you to is our community. I think, as I showed you before, in our community, we have weekly workshops that are every Thursday, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. And in it, we talk about things like choosing your best career path, salary and benefit negotiations, LinkedIn Premium, is it worth it? How to research a career path, how to identify companies you'd want to work for. And we have a lovely, amazing community of alumni from our program who've moved on to other jobs, to people who are on the journey just like you. It's private and you can ask questions. You can introduce yourself and get to know the community and ultimately not feel so alone in this process. Because what we've found with so many people is that looking for a job is lonely. Sometimes you feel stupid, like you're the only one feeling this way, that like, what's wrong with me? How come no one's paying attention to me? And in these workshops in the community, you're going to learn everyone feels that way. You're not alone. And in the workshops in particular, I run these and help you problem solve. Where are you at in the process and what do you need to do next? If you would like to come into the community, I'll put a link here in the chat. Hopefully it gets sent to all of the places, but I'll also put it on screen as well. I would love for you to join. I think there is an approval process to join. It is completely free. We're not charging right now to be a part of this. We do reserve the right to, you know, pick and choose who we want in the community, but it's a wonderful place where people share their wins. I won't say who for privacy reasons, but a lot of people type in things like, oh, they got a job offer or they got interviews and they have questions. And I'd love for you to be a part of it because ultimately, oh, I put the link here too. Ultimately, this is how you stand out. It's not by doing this by yourself. This any career journey is meant to be done with others. And I think what COVID did to us as a profession and as a society has made us feel very isolated. It's made us feel separated from others and it's hard to connect. It's hard to connect because I talk with people about networking and they admittedly find reasons to convince themselves to not ask for help from others. They feel like they're bothering people. And we love working on that with others to help them discover really who can help you. Pharmacists are some of the most generous and kind and serving people that I know. I've coached other professions. I've coached chiropractors and dentists and musicians and entrepreneurs, and they're all great, but pharmacists are a different breed. we join this profession to help others. And if that's true, you may be surprised on how many pharmacists are willing to help you achieve your goals. So I would love to have you be a part of our community and join our workshops on Thursdays. You can also view previous workshops as well. And we would love to help you on your journey. If you have any questions, please let me know. But otherwise, thank you for watching this webinar. I appreciate your time, and I'm excited to see where you go next. For those of you that typed in some comments here, send me a message. I'd love to hear where you're at in this process. And I would absolutely love to help you with the next step of your career's journey. Thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your week.